Welcome to this Let's Play of Spelunky. This is episode 8, and I'm Psychedelic Eyeball. So, in the last update, I ended up gaining a new character, and we are going to play as her. We have pretty much a character that at first glance seems pretty much not tailored for spelunking at all, but I'm gonna do everyone a favor, and I'm gonna try to prove everyone wrong. We're going on to a fine adventure this time, especially after the more than lackluster last venture that we had where our Viking ended up dying because he took a photo of a shopkeeper. So remember, before taking any photos, you gotta make sure that they consent to that, because you never know whenever they'll bring up a shotgun and shoot you in the face. But with that said, the next character that I'm going to play as will be Meat Boy. After all, I said I'd eventually play as him, and whatever I say, I gotta do it eventually. So no matter how many new characters I'll learn into this one update, and that is if I learn new characters to begin with, well, Meat Boy still will be the next choice. And yeah, that was kind of a gamble, but it was either me or the damsel. And besides, I was right next to the exit, so it really was not the time to lose 2 health. You can replace damsels in this game, but you cannot replace yourself. Or at least it's gonna take far more than damsels in order to repair the damage that has been caused by an arrow in the face. And the other thing that have come to light with the last update is how utterly worthless the mystery gift have been so far. I mean, not only I ended up being ripped off in the last update by having an item that was at lower cost than the mystery box, but I ended up with an item I already own, so you know what, no rest for the wicked. I mean, I'm gonna go and buy some paste, but you know what? This bomb box, I don't want to pay for it. This is for all of the money that you've stolen from me, you horrible monster. Yeah, it's about time that we start tangling with the shopkeepers a little bit. We've definitely had a pretty good idea of how the game works so far, so it's time that we take a little bit more risk. I mean, normally, a bomb box may not be the right item to go on a limb in order to pretty much anger the shopkeeper, but at this point, I really don't care. I was kind of annoyed after the last update, and I really wanted the shopkeepers to have their comeuppance. Because you see, the thing which is definitely different in this game compared to the original version of Spelunky is that you could get away a whole lot more easily with theft, because the way that the wanted system, or whatever you want to call it, worked in the original game, if you stole from a shopkeeper, in the next level, there will be a shopkeeper waiting for you at the end, and the shopkeepers in the stores will be angry, but if you made it to the end, then the other shopkeepers will not be aware of it at all. And finally, this will make it so that after a couple of levels, the shopkeepers will be friendly again, and you will have free reign over the place all over again. So it definitely encourages you to take far more risk with the shopkeeper and do a whole lot more casual theft. But in this version of the game, there is no such thing as a wanted level. The moment that you anger a shopkeeper in this game, they're angry forever, no matter how small or big the offense is. In the original, the only way that shopkeepers will be permanently angry at you will be if you killed one. Then at this point, the shopkeepers will be angry forever. But in this one, even if the shopkeepers were driven angry because an off-screen enemy just decided to damage a damsel or anything, well, too bad, because you're the one that's gonna have to deal with the consequences of whatever you didn't do. So there are times where Spelunky will not be a fair game, and these are times like these when you can also kind of see that, because having a dark level whenever you're wanted definitely is not a good thing, because then you have to juggle with your torch and your shotgun constantly in order to make sure that you keep your weapon, and in order to make sure that you're not gonna run on the shopkeeper prematurely. Yeah, you know what, we're just gonna exit the level right away. If you can exit a level without killing the shopkeeper, it's usually a good idea, because you pretty much have to take extra risk in order to deal with a shopkeeper, and for the most part, the mine levels really make the shopkeepers tricky, because Usually there's nothing that will make it so that you will have an advantage against the shopkeeper. I mean, you will see that later on in the game, there are level layouts that will make it so that dealing with them will be pretty easy. I mean, for instance, in the ice caves, they probably could just end up falling into a bottomless pit without even encountering you, and all sort of stuff like that. All in all, it definitely showcases how different the game can end up playing whenever you're on the run from the shopkeepers. There's kind of a new dynamic which is being implemented, and for the most part it definitely makes the game a whole lot more nervous and faster paced. If possible, try to always snipe the shopkeepers from far away, and right now we have the level design which is pretty much tailor-made for that, so we're just gonna clear up this wall here, and there we go, I have a clear line of shot for the shopkeeper off screen. Now, I don't need to kill the shopkeeper because I still need to bring the damsel to the exit, but as you've seen, if they end up being stuck on another side of a wall like this, they become kind of predictable because the moment they get up, they will usually jump around at you. So the moment that they jump, you can just anticipate their movement and shoot them while they're still in the air, or sometime before they even jump. The slower pellets will usually make it so that they will hit the shopkeeper and propel them backwards once again. Whoa, okay, you're not walking toward the sticky trap. This is kind of the danger whenever you're playing with damsels the way that I do, and that is to throw them all over the place. I mean, it's really fun and as well then occasionally practical, but sometimes you need to let them go to a safe place. So here you go, you just go and swim with the piranhas while I go and retrieve my shotgun. I'll be back later, I swear. Yeah, just look at that, they're just getting along so fine. And before you wonder, there is no oxygen or whatever in this game. You can stay underwater for as long as you want, and so does anybody else that you meet into this game. Chivalry isn't dead, I swear to God. Yeah, I really love how come I've been more delicate with pretty much any of my items, but whenever it comes to dealing with the Manzel himself, I'm pretty much acting like an asshole. That's kind of discomforting. I guess it's only because, compared to the other items, I can throw the damsel around, but I cannot throw a shotgun or a golden idol all over the place. Oh hey, there's a worm. Yeah. I guess I only noticed the entrance to the worm as soon as the damsel entered the door, because otherwise I may have gone and paid another visit to it, because having the Chris knife is always a good thing. Because you know, instant kill weapons are always fun. And yeah, whenever you see this text appearing preemptively like that, that just means that the shopkeeper had the misfortune of spawning right next to either a tiki trap or there was a frog which ended up being impaled and exploding on him, whatever you want. So usually when you see that happen beforehand, it's pretty much good news for you because it means that you're not gonna have to deal with any hassles whenever you'll reach the end of the level. Yep, that was some pretty good work all around. All in all, I'm not too sure how he ended up dying here, because usually they spawn right next to where the door is, so I have absolutely no clue how he managed to get over the tiki trap and then ended up dying there. This is kind of weird. Oh, it seems as if we have a shop down here. It's time for some more shopping, or in our case, it's more gonna be shopping with a C. So I haven't talked about the monkeys before, and they are pretty annoying because they just end up latching on your bag, steal your items, and sometimes they can even knock you around, and they can be a pain whenever it comes down to that. With that said, they are the only enemies that are hostile to you in this game that cannot deal any damage to you, so at least they have that going for. So we're just gonna do it pretty slow just in order to make sure that I can go and raid the shop place while not nuking myself and avoiding a direct confrontation with the shopkeeper. Try to always not get involved in firefights with them because they can get very messy, more so considering that usually one single mistake and you'll be dead. So we just hit the jackpot here, a damsel and a new character, and oh god. Okay, this is not going to be fine. Yeah, the guy just decided to take a boomerang, and who knows what will happen whenever he's got that. Yeah, he managed to hit himself with his own boomerang. This is kind of messy, but right now I need to save my damsel, but she's right in the midst of all of these cannibals. Oh, no, you're not taking my shotgun, because you know what happens whenever you take my shotgun? I end up horribly dying, and I have no clue how the hell this guy managed to survive being shot by a shotgun. It's kind of a mystery, but thankfully we don't have to deal with the shopkeeper. So yeah, if you enjoyed the adventures of the hired help in episode 6, we're going to have some more of that, and we're gonna stick with him all the way through. I'm not gonna sacrifice him like I did with that one slave, because I kinda have to give him a chance this time. Maybe he'll do better. I mean, he did manage to fight off some enemies earlier. And also, he's doing surprisingly well going around the landscape like that. The jungle is the hardest place in the entire game to... god damn it, I ended up shooting a damsel off screen by accident. So we're gonna make up for it by going on a quest for gold. We're gonna go and see what those mysterious vaults with the shopkeepers are all about, now that we have the bombs and we have nothing to lose. So there are 2 chests in there, but they got a lot of money. Yep, there was close to $20,000 into this one vault, and sometimes these chests can have diamonds in them, which will make the chest even more valuable and worth to collect. And finally, if you have the patience, you can wait for the ghost and make it so that all of the gems become diamond, and you can rack pretty much $50,000 just by going to one single place, which is definitely a good thing. Yeah, you see, he's doing fine, even though I really should not let him man around a shotgun. So the tunnel man is here for the final time. And yeah, it's quite of a sacrifice to do, but you know what? Since we're on the law and we pretty much not gonna have any problems finding a shotgun, we're gonna lend him our shotgun in order for him to finish the final shortcut. And guess what? I already have a shotgun anyway, so... that's a positive aspect of the hired help. He can carry items for you that normally you will not be able to carry around or just have a duplicate. Now, we've done a pretty good... oh god, no! Why is he back with a shotgun again? I am dreading for my life once again. So, I definitely did a good job getting all the way there in this playthrough, but things are only gonna get harder here because... honestly, if I didn't have the compass ahead of time, I will pretty much be in a pickle because I only have 1 rope left and I have only 1 health, so it means that any big fall will end up being my undoing. Ow, looks like this is it for this guy. Rest in peace, Fat Boy Scout. You will be missed. Now, a part of me kinda wants to see if bringing an hired hand to the end of a level will make it so that it will count as finishing the game with 2 players, but at the same time it probably will be a very masochistic thing to do because, well, things can go really wrong and pretty much the only reliable way to make it all the way to the end will be to pretty much carry the guy in my hands the entire time in order... okay, what the hell was I doing here? How the hell did I not take any damage? Now, if I did not have any supplies or the compass, things would have been very hairy there because my path to the exit ended up being sealed off and yeah, I guess this guy is also sealed off as well. There's no way to go but down. When I'm saying that for the most part, shopkeepers really are not a threat in the ice caves. It's just so easy to deal with them for the most part. And in many of the beginning portions of a level, they will usually just trigger a mine and they will just end up exploding to death and finally they will just pretty much enter history. Okay, now I really have no clue why the damsel did not die this time. This is pretty much a playthrough of mystery that we have going here. Hell, she even managed to enter the door on her own, even though that entire thing was completely blind. I mean, there was so many opportunities for her to die in a pit, but none of them happened. The only bad thing with all of it, however, is that I ended up losing my shotgun, so I guess I'm gonna have to stick with the machete from now on. At least until I find another shopkeeper, which will end up giving me his gun. we may have to wait a while because getting a shotgun in the ice caves is kinda hard because there are many times where the shopkeepers will end up falling in the pit alongside with their shotgun, but we'll deal with it. Now, as you may see, getting into the mothership will be pretty easy, and in fact, yeah, the way toward it has already been open, but going in the mothership without any climbing supplies, without the climbing glove, the spring shoes, ropes, or jetpack is pretty much suicidal. And finally, there's gonna be a shopkeeper waiting for me in there as well, so it's a terrible idea to go there right now. Don't worry, we'll finish it another playthrough. Now, I initially wanted to use the alien as a springboard in order to slow down my fall, but I forgot that I had a parachute, and yeah, that was kind of a sticky situation, but at least we got out of it. And here we go, we're gonna unlock our way to the final shortcut of the game, slowly but surely. Next time that we're gonna see him, we're gonna have to find him 3 ropes. Oh my god, fuck me. This is pretty much the worst thing that can happen to you in this game. A dark temple level. You've already seen in one of the updates how dangerous the temple was. Imagine not being able to see anything in it. And also this is level 4-1, so this means that there's Anubis somewhere in there waiting for me with a scepter to blast my mind to oblivion. All in all, I'm really gonna cross my fingers so that we don't end up meeting him, because this is not gonna be a happy reunion. Now, surfacing from the pool of lava are magma men. We saw them previously in another video, but yeah, you can see that none of your weapons will kill them. At least none except the freeze ray. But at least they're completely oblivious to where you are. They just end up walking in straight lines, and after a few seconds they will just sizzle out of existence. So usually they're not big of a threat, but they can always surprise you a bit. At least one good thing with the Magma Man is that they will hurt other enemies by walking in them, so that's definitely a plus. Okay, where the hell did you come from? I really hate the Crockmen so much. I mean, there's been... Oh my god, I did not want that to happen. Oh well, we're gonna avenge you, Dougie! And at the same time, I'm also gonna get a brand new shotgun out of the deal. Now, if I ended up getting the glasses or the Ujat Eye, I would have been able to showcase a hidden secret at the bottom of the pool of lava that you see into the sacrifice pit, but I'm just gonna have to show it off a little bit later. Okay, safe from our rope situation, at least we're finally doing good again. Now we're on the last level before Olmec, and hopefully we'll be able to win the battle this time. All in all, while being a less than upstanding citizen. So yeah, I hope you have good fun in there. I have no clue how you ended up here, but I'm kind of happy about it. So down below here are the Hawkmen. They're pretty much like the Crockmen in some way, except that they have as much health as cavemen. They just jump around, and whenever they pick you up, they can throw you around like Yetis would. But with that said, we still didn't see a Yeti throwing us yet, and I did a good job of avoiding it because for the most part it's pretty much instant death. And yeah, that was a very terrible thing to do because as you've seen, it's pretty hard to avoid the mummy fly swarms that are coming at you because their patterns are pretty erratic, but at least we managed to get out of it. And yeah, this poor shopkeeper didn't even have a chance. Alright, so we're back at the end square once again. But this time we have one extra point of health, we have a shotgun in order to dispatch enemies that are far away from us. So here's to hoping that the fight with Olmec will go better this time. Now the first thing to do will be to have this guy killed, but most of the time Olmec will pretty much do it for you for free. Also, don't waste your time looking for the cavemen that have fled, because I'm pretty sure they went behind that one door that you saw, and we're not gonna see them again for the time being. So, the goal of our fight with Olmec is to make it so that we make him dig through all of the floor, so that he will end up falling in the pit of lava that you cannot see yet, but will eventually see it after some time. So in short, he's Bowser from Super Mario Bros. 3. Except that in this one, you cannot harm him under any means directly. I mean, you could kill Bowser in Super Mario 3 if you threw hammers in his face, but you don't have such means here. The only means that you have is to do it the long way. Of course, you can speed up the process by using bombs, and if you have a lot of bombs as well as some means of transportation, the easiest way to kill Olmec will be to just use your bombs and dig a huge pit yourself and then lure him to jump inside the pit. But since I have no ropes right now, I pretty much am obligated to fight him the hard way, because if I end up using my bombs incorrectly, I run the risk of being unable to climb back up, because once I'm done killing Olmec, I still need to go to the door which is up there. All in all, I really cannot say that I add a whole lot of items into this one run. I mean, pretty much my entire playthrough consisted of having bombs as well as a shotgun, but whenever you play correctly, this is often what you need in order to win. It's just that the shotgun in this game is so good. Honestly, I really prefer the way the shotgun handles in this one version of the game than in the original Spelunky, because, well, there were two long-range weapons that you had in the original game. You had the shotgun and you had the pistol, and I really think that in overall, the shotgun in this version of the game did a very good job of merging both weapons into one, making it so that the pistol was no longer necessary in this version of the game. It fires as fast as the pistols, it deals about as much damage and sometimes a little bit more, and it has the same rate of fire. Okay, right now I'm in a terrible situation. I am gonna have to be really careful here. And that's it! Olmec has been defeated, and he's now currently sinking into lava surely but slowly, dragging this poor innocent snail along the way. So yeah, this is what I meant with being possibly locked out of the exit because of having no ropes. But here we go, we finished the game! So, congratulations! Spelunky has finally been beaten. We've retrieved a giant treasure that was at the bottom of this pit, which adds $50,000 to our score, and we get the listing of how much time it took us to beat the game. Yeah, whenever you're going well enough in this game, you can beat this game in only 20 minutes, and sometimes you can go even faster than that. Right now, my actual record at this game has been about 5 minutes and a half. I have no clue if I'll be able to replicate this because so far I've not been able to do so yet, but yeah, whenever we take it at face value, this is a really short game, but the thing is, it may take you a whole lot more time in order to get to that one result. I mean, the first time that I finished this game, I'm pretty sure I had over 20 hours of play, I had logged in over 200 deaths, and for a whole lot of people, it usually takes way more playthroughs than that in order to even be able to see the end of this game. But here it is, we finally finished the game, but are we really done with the game? I mean, the journey through this game has pretty much only begun. Finishing this game is just the beginning of the adventure because there's still a whole lot that you need to learn. You need to go and see, do you have the skills that you need in order to rack up $500,000? Can you get all the way to the secret ending of this game? Can you finish this game in under 8 minutes? Or can you even finish this game without picking up any gold or even without picking up any items? I mean, can you do a purist thing or whatever? The possibilities are pretty much limitless, as much as there's pretty much no limit to how a game of Spelunky can go considering the totally random level generation of this game, and the fact that no playthrough end up feeling the same because of the way that items and enemies end up being distributed throughout the game. So that's pretty much Spelunky in a nutshell. It's a death simulator that never ends, and occasionally you win, which is even more rejoiceful whenever it happens. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the only moment where I'll showcase the credits. Whenever I'll win on other playthroughs of the game, I'm just gonna showcase the ending stats as well as the weapons and whatever that we had at the end of a playthrough, and that's pretty much where we're gonna call it quits, because we don't really need to see this one sequence where we're just strolling through this camel through the desert with the last two cavemen that we saw run away earlier at the beginning of the fight. So now that we've earned our first victory in the game, this is where I'm gonna start opening up the Let's Play a little bit. I'm gonna be open to suggestions of playthrough that people want to see me do, of additional challenges that you want to see me attempt, and all sort of things. Of course, I'm still gonna have to do some regular updates where I showcase the last bits of the game that haven't been showcased yet. I mean, there's still a secret ending that we need to show after all. And this one is going to be a doozy. But either way, thank you for playing Spelunky. So we're just gonna have a look at our player stats, and here you can see that whenever you actually manage to win the game, you will end up being listed as having been killed by old age. After all, with all of the money that you racked up, you didn't need to go on another adventure before quite some time. And you can also see the items that you were carrying during the playthrough, and you can see the overall stats that you have, including the average score, your best score, and finally your best time. So it's gonna be her duty to see those scores rise, or decrease, or whatever that you want to see put. So that's the end of this video. So coming up next, our new adventures toward perfection will resume.